Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio. So, we finally have enough supplies, well enough ore and so on, being mined and I think smelted as well. So, that means that we're now capable of running all our running all our production lines at full tilt. So now we need to sort of make that happen. So you can see that the first problem we have is that gears are in short supply. They're being taken up as fast as they're being produced, and that's not good enough. But I go and wander over here for a second first, because it's sort of a problem. This section of the production line is very compressed, and it's difficult to find anywhere to put it. And eventually, I do a bit of surveying and come up with an idea. So I realised that this conveyor belt here is totally useless. It's been sat around for like half a dozen episodes not doing anything, so I get rid of that, and then I start moving some bits around. You can see I get rid of the splitter there and put in a new splitter there, and I clear off this bit of conveyor belt, and you can see I've cleared a bit of space, and I can stick an assembler there, stick some inserters there, and then we can get these delivered down onto the main line. So there we go. We've just well, as soon as I upgrade this to a level 3 assembler, we've now got double the gear production that we had before, so that should fix that problem. So next, probably a good idea to look at science, and the problem that we have is that we're lacking in green science packs, and I had a quick look and it was a problem with inserters, and I checked the inserters and it turned out to be a problem with gears, of course, because I fixed the gears problem. That problem should hopefully disappear, and we won't need to keep adding more stuff to production there. So I have a quick check of power and everything's fine and dandy in that sense. And so I was wandering around the module production for a bit, run over and grab some steel engines and things, just resupplying myself. You can see I put in another personal shield, and I'm building the final one, and once that is done we will finally have the power suit fully made. A couple of episodes after I said it would be, but whatever, it gets done eventually. And a lot of the things I'm going to be doing today will be speeding up belts, because that is a problem that we're having now, because everything is fully upgraded at this point. It's all going at crazy speeds, and the belts can't keep up, and that's a bit of a problem that we're having. So you see I'm upgrading all of that to blue belts there, so that everything can get to the circuit production quick enough for the modules. And you can look around at the rest of the stuff. Everything seems to be going all right at the moment. The cob production looks like it could be doing better, and I decide to do a quick tweak there to even things out, because it's important to even things out on either side of the belt before they go into onto the main line, because of course going onto half of a belt means that one side of the belt going onto it will go on more than the other. I don't know, maybe I didn't describe that very well, but if you're aware of the problem, then you know what I mean. So I don't know, whatever. Now looking around at iron, because you can see there's a bunch on the left and nothing on the right, and that is a problem. And now you can see that suddenly the system is not backed up anymore, which means that there's problems somewhere. So first of all, I get rid of that sorting thing there, after I realized when I was doing the post commentary for the last episode it was totally pointless. And then I make a modification here so that all of these are feeding onto the right side of the belt, but then of course what happens is the right side fills up. So I decide to balance it out, so the belt is that does a side step halfway along, so half of it goes onto the right, half of it goes onto the left, and that looks a bit better, except it still goes wrong when it's about to get to the main production line, of course, because all the stuff on the left is going on to the belt because it has priority and stuff on the right isn't. And you saw there, I just finished the suit, so the power is just charging up now, and in the meantime I'm speeding up the movement of copper on here, because copper has been having some trouble flowing in quick enough. So my reasoning is that if I upgrade all the belts a bit, it should help, because at the moment the smelters are not working at the full speed that they're capable of. I also sort out evening out either side of the belt for iron there. Makes a weird pattern when it's flowing along so fast at 4 times speed, frame rate and all that. So maybe the frame rate for my preview window is different for I don't know. So wander on over to the module production again, grabbing some circuits and things. And I noticed that the plastic production isn't enough, so that's going to need fixing. So I start making a second chemical plant and all this, and I'm getting ready to hook it up. And then I realized that the limitation is the coal supply. So I just screwed out all that stuff that was just a waste of resources, because what I need to do is build a new electric mining drill, which will double the coal production and allow the chemical plant to greatly increase its plastic production and fix all the problems. And now I've got so much crap in my hotbar from building pipes and chemical plants, I had to actually do a bit of a cleanup there, even though I have the double hotbar. I get back to have a quick check of power there, and doing some random bits of maintenance over there. But the current thing I'm working on is getting some more red belts, or I was, but now I've gone over here, because it's time to upgrade module production. So far I've only been making level 1 modules, but you can make up to level 3 potentially, so, you know, I've had those assemblers go up for like 2 episodes now or whatever, and I've not actually done anything with them, so I finally actually powered them up and got the inserts going in. And what we're going to need to do now is upgrade our circuit production, which is why I left that room for expansion when I built it all those episodes ago. So getting some more assemblers out, deconstructing some bits and reconstructing other bits and things. So we're changing from having 3 copper wire assemblers and 2 circuit assemblers to 4 copper wire assemblers and 3 circuit assemblers. Now this isn't, well, the way this is set up is not quite the same as it is in, you can do it, and I think like the style that I use to build this sort of production thing has actually changed since I started this series and built it. So and I'm just sort of rambling about it really, but maybe one day I'll show you the different mode of production. I might do a tutorial on like building a base with room for expansion, room to grow, because one of the big problems that you can face in Factorio is having things be really awkward, because there's no more room to put something, but you have to put something in if you want to improve. So I realize that I've screwed up with that system there, because the smart inserter won't put down the advanced circuits while the processing units are there, so I'm a bit confused as to how I'm going to do it. But then I realized that if I just move it up 1, the whole thing works fine, so I set that up, and now we can start producing the level 2 modules, which will be good. And then eventually we can get to level 3, and then everything will be super awesome, and there will be no there will be minimal pollution from everything, hopefully, while there will still be capacity for other things. I want to put lots of productivity stuff in an alien science factory. I'll go through that later when I'm actually doing it, I suppose, and explain the way that I'm getting the most out of alien artifacts then. So I'm adding a lot of the red belts in. The problem is I'm out of gears. Like the chest that I usually get gears from, I keep having to empty it, so I'm just grabbing them off all the different places where there are gears and trying to get enough to finish off the red belts, because I realise I have to extend it all the way down to the actual production line if I want to make any difference with it. So slowly making my way along, and there's a problem that there's a limiting factor of all these splitters here. They're all the crappy basic splitters, so that's going to have to be dealt with, and I decided to not cut any corners with that and make them all into turbo splitters. And then random bits of science getting done. There's barely any science to do at this point. I'm just researching laser turrets and shotgun shells. I mean, there is still research to do, but nothing that doesn't require alien stuff. And while I do have some alien artifacts on me, I don't want to start using them quite yet. I'm going to have a sort of big project with that, and in the meantime I want to get through all of the science that doesn't require alien artifacts. And once that is done, we'll start doing it then. So, wandering around getting stuff done, I had to grab a bunch of the turbo belts because they've run out, which means that for a while the iron production is going to be terrible, because it's all going to be eaten by by the turbo belts production line. So I'm wandering over to the big smelting area. This bit looks pretty cool actually. It's really nicely set up, and there's belts full of ore everywhere, and I like the look of it, and I'm proud of it, and the good use of the space and so on. So I'm adding a bit more at the moment, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep up keep all the systems running if I don't have them all quite there. But anyway, it's time to go take the train. So I hop in, have a look at the ore as it flows out, make some adjustments to the timings of the train, because it turns out it's sat around for half the time not doing anything. And after doing a quick bit of fiddling over there as well, have a check of the outpost, and it's time for the reason I came here, to charge at that goddamn worm and kill it dead. So I start shooting the crap out of it, and they're shooting the crap out of me, and the annoying thing is there's so many of them that I don't even manage to kill that one that I was trying to get before my shield runs out. They start eating into my health. So I take the train back, and it takes a hit from that damn worm. It will never do that again. I will make sure of it. So I wander back home so that my suit can recharge while I get on with other things. Having a look at the system, making sure that the ore is backed up everywhere, and so on. And going back here, you can see that the plates are all backed up nicely as well, and this is all good. Making some more adjustments to the system because there's still some yellow belts in it. Have a check of signs, and everything's good there. Get rid of a mining drill, and then I realize that the power system is a problem, because you can see that the solar panels are now running at full capacity 24/7, and that means that the accumulators aren't being filled up properly. So of course I immediately start building a bunch of solar panels, grab some circuits and so on, run up to the solar field and add on a big section of extra solar panels to make sure that the accumulators can be fully charged all the time, because of course we're always adding new equipment, and what is eventually going to happen is we're going to need to upgrade power capacity before we have problems. Because you know, if at some point I'll try and do a tutorial on like how to interpret the power the power menu readings to tell when you need to do certain things with the system. But basically, if the solar panels are always running at full capacity, that's bad, because there should be times when they don't need to because they finish charging accumulators. So anyway, I decide to make a couple of extra solar panels for my suit, because I realised that while the shields are charging, the batteries aren't, so I might as well take the batteries out, replace them with more solar panels to charge everything up faster. And I decided to go visit the outpost, but this time I take a car, because I realised I could have done that the whole time and made it a lot more interesting and fun. And all we've got is one mining drill run out, and one sort of close to running out. So after having a quick inspection of the belt, I add one more mining drill, and what that should mean is that the both sides of the belt will be completely full as before. So that's all good, and once I've got back in the car, I wander over like the 2 feet of the copper thing, and it's not so much of a good story here. We've got a lot more reduction in copper production, and we're going to need to be leaning more and more on the train outpost that is in sort of a dangerous area, which I'm not happy about. And the problem is there's not that much copper around, really. I mean, there's another big deposit in the south, but it's in the south. I don't want to go to the south because there's a bunch of aliens there. And I haven't noticed anything particularly in the north, and if there is anything, it's well beyond the wall. But anyway, after wandering up to the iron outpost up here, I put in a couple more mining drills in, get them all full of effectivity modules and so on and so forth, hook that up to the system. So that's all good, and we should be nicely supplied with iron for a good long time. And then I set up one of the evening out systems there just to help, because we're going to be leaning more and more on that iron outpost once the big one that we're using runs out, and then the one beyond it starts to. But anyway, the suit is recharged now, so after wandering over and checking the copper ore supplies, I hop back in the train and make my way back over to the outpost. Once again, do a quick check of everything. Everything's totally fine, so it's time to kill that damn worm. And seeing as it's got no health, I do it almost immediately, start working on another one, and I nearly get that killed. Some science comes along at just the wrong time. Nearly get it killed and have to run away, so I will eventually return and kill that one too, and one by one all those worms will be killed, and I can move on to the next alien base, and eventually I can hopefully actually build the southern wall and finally be totally safe. Because if you remember at the end of, I think, last episode or the episode before, there was an attack on the copper outpost. Of course it was fended off because that place is still armed with plenty of guns and so on. So I'm having a look around at all the smelting facilities again, and we've got a problem with copper. It's not going. There's not enough going through, and it's a bit annoying. Anyway, do some messing about here. Set up some new inserters. Anyway, we're starting to come to the end now, so it seems to be a tradition. At the end of the episode, I mess about with the coal production and then wander about looking at things for a bit. So yeah, and also my mouse disconnects a couple of times, so maybe you'll be able to hear the didum 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 thing. It's like power problems. I've got a fan running, and sometimes it like starts to get a bit fiddly. But anyway, that's the end of the episode. So until next time, I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.